Producing over 500 hours per week of talk radio, GCN Live is a world leader in talk radio. Archives for the following program can be found at GCNlive.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Leibovit. It's Saturday, November 21st, and no other day like it. Thank you for joining us. Obviously, you have other choices on a Saturday morning, and I'm very happy you chose Wall Street Raw. Well, there's so much to talk about in the markets. I don't even know where to begin, but let's just go through some of the introductory material. We don't take phone calls on the show at present, so if you do want to reach me and have any specific questions here at Wall Street Raw, drop an email to me at mark.vrtrader@gmail.com. That's my main website. You can reach it through WallStreetRaw.com, WallStreetRawRadio.com, but if you want to email me, mark.vrtrader@gmail. The shows are archived at GCNlive.com, so if you miss a part of the show or you want to listen to previous shows, go to GCNlive.com and you can easily retrieve those. At VRTrader.com, I produce the VR Platinum and Silver newsletters, which cover all the major markets. The Platinum has specific recommendations, so that's the higher-end product. We also have the Gold newsletter and the Vice newsletter, so you can sign those up at the main website of VR Trader. In fact, if you go to the main website, we have two free giveaway products. One's called Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw, which is basically highlights of the key news in those two sectors during the week. So you can sign up, no credit cards needed, but we have the actual Vice letter and Gold letter in addition to that. But if you go to the main webpage, vrtrader.com, again, you can access that at wallstreetraw.com. Goes to the same place. You can sign up for both the Vice News Raw and the Gold News Raw. We are very pleased to have eSignals, our sponsor on the program. eSignal is a stock market platform that I use every day. It is very useful. In particular, I have my proprietary volume reversal indicator, the VR indicator, which is what this VR is all about. About 35 years ago, we created that. It's a tool that shows you where smart money is moving in the market, where the buyers are coming in, where the sellers are coming in, and this is the triggers that I use, and many of which have led to the fact that I became top market timer in the U.S. according to Timer Digest for many years without going through all the accolades there. They have me as the #1 bond timer in the U.S. right now, and I've served in the role of gold timer and overall market timer. And why? Not because I'm the smartest guy. I'm just following the smart money, and that's exactly what the volume reversal and the VR is all about. But at eSignal, we do have the VR indicator up there. And if you want more information from eSignal, go to eSignal.com/radio. That's eSignal.com/radio, and we'll talk about more in Section 4. We're actually going to go over a little example that has been played out here on the screen, and I can verbally go through it. Obviously, if you had a program in front of you and the chart, you could see it a lot better, but I think I can convey the main points there. Of course, many of you may know me from years back, the old-timers, I guess, since time flies here, as one of the elves on the old Louis Rukeyser Wall Street Week television program, and I was very honored that I was picked as one of those 10 elves that came in every week to tell the national audience whether I was bullish, bearish, or neutral on the market. Of course, that led to also being a market monitor guest with Paul Kangas. You may remember Paul. He retired from the Nightly Business Report and was doing that for, about 30 years. I want to remind you as well that my Trader's Book of Volume, it's called the Trader's Book of Volume, is available. You can buy it on Amazon and other sources. It's the definitive guide to volume trading. Gives you a background in all the volume indicators, and of course I do talk about my proprietary volume reversal in there, but I'm really on record in that book having not been caught in any market crash in the last 30, 35 years. In fact, starting back with the 1987 crash, we saw the volume coming in. In fact, on national television, we had warned about it. But all the major setbacks, the 2000 top, the 2007-8 top, the flash crash of 2010, even the big sell-off we saw this past summer, warned way in advance that something was wrong. We were coming down, told people to get out of the market. Even before 9/11, believe it or not, there was a warning that something was wrong with the market. It's not that we predicted that all these events would occur, that you would see significant crashes, but we saw the volume coming into the downside and said, hey, there's something wrong here, you need to get out. Now, bottom line is, markets are rigged, so we are watching the smart money at work, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. I do have my special guest, Sinclair Noe, with us on segments 2 and 3 today, so looking forward to that. We're going to cover a lot of the major news stories, and on segment 4, we're going to delve into some of these other stories and talk about e-signal charts and the volume indicator and other things that might interest you as well. Very briefly, looking at the markets this week, as you can see, we've been climbing a wall of worry in the face of Paris attacks a week ago Friday. It just, as you know, like yesterday, Brussels raised its threat level to the highest, and at least 21 people were reported dead in the Mali incident. The market seemed to ignore this. I've talked about this in the newsletter. It's unfortunate, as we all know, the market does its own thing, but unfortunately it also appears to like war, and it seems to be good for markets, generates business or whatever else you want to talk about. In any event, it did rally this week. Whether it's going to take off and break out above its highs, we don't know yet, but we are in that seasonality period that basically starts from the September-October lows, which are somewhat traditional, into possibly even April-May of the following year. So it's the old sell May, go away, get out of the market in May, come back in September-October, and that pattern. Also, again, the seasonality with the Santa Claus rally, and we have the sort of funny name called Turkey Shoot coming up this week. My old friend Yale Hirsch from the Stock Traders Almanac wrote about this many, many years ago. And what it is statistically the day before Thanksgiving or the day after, or both, the market tends to rally. So something to think about if you are trading the market. And the Turkey Shoot is coming up this week. It's also because of the holiday week. Many of the big traders will be leaving probably by Wednesday. So though there may still be volatility, volume will slow down in the markets during this coming week. As far as other markets are concerned, the gold market continues to suffer a bit. Got down to 1064 intraday on Tuesday, and showed a little life on Thursday and Friday, but it appears the powers that be are still trying to suppress gold. It seems like any time there are negative news events, instead of rallying, gold goes down. I have a big bone to pick with the COMEX in New York. We talk about the commodity markets being important, the futures markets being important. They were created originally to hedge physical inventories. Farmers would have crops, and they would forward sell their crops, and that's obviously somebody who bought those contracts could physically take delivery of those commodities. Well, that's changed now, and this is what makes I believe, the gold and silver market a bit fraudulent. Basically, what the situation is now, if you want to take delivery, they offer you cash settlement because, in truth, they don't have all the gold and silver to deliver. So it's become a paper market, and I call it a phony paper market. So this decline you're seeing is driven by paper, not by necessarily physical sales. Something to keep in mind, and as a result, I remain optimistic, though I can't tell you this is the bottom. Obviously, we're watching very carefully. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you on segment 2 with Sinclair, and thanks for joining us.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
With a new year coming, it's time for a new way to look at weapon storage. Safes can't be accessed quickly, and racks are unsafe for children. Covert cabinets are the next level in home defense. They fit seamlessly into any home's decor, and they provide quick access to firearms while keeping them uniquely hidden. Covert cabinets, the ideal hidden storage solution. Custom made in the USA. Covert cabinets are an elegant and practical alternative to the bulky and obvious storage systems of the past. Find out more at covertcabinets.com. That's covertcabinets.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcoming back my good friend Sinclair No, financial commentator, KFNN 1510 Phoenix, and author of the great blog EatTheBankers.com. It's always great to have Sinclair on our show, Wall Street Raw, on Saturday mornings. Thank you for joining us.
Mark, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
As always, we've got more to cover than we have time.
Yes.
We were just talking off air a little bit about S&P earnings, what companies do to support their stock. Just yesterday, in fact, or the day before, Nike comes out with earnings reports, and part of their report was the big stock buyback that they were doing. And one of the things that gets my goat over the years is the financial engineering that really goes on in this business. And one of the reasons the stock market is up, not necessarily because companies are doing great, maybe in the case of Nike that is the case, but this two things, buying back their own shares, and two, in some instances, many instances, underestimating their earnings reports, then supposedly surprising the street, coming out with higher earnings. You can't tell me that there's not a little bit of a conspiracy going on there between Wall Street and those companies.
Well, the fun thing about Nike was they announced a $12 billion stock buyback, and then they also announced a 2-for-1 stock split.
All for the shareholders.
Now, they're putting more shares out there because of the 2-for-1 stock split, but then they're buying back their own shares. Mm-hmm. What are they really trying to do? It's really nothing more than financial engineering. And another word for financial engineering is manipulation.
Right.
Plain and simple.
They don't call it that, but that's what it is.
No, it's just manipulation. There was a really great article by Reuters this past week. They've done some analysis and found that corporate spending on buybacks and dividends is really up. They looked at some 3,200-odd companies, U.S. companies, and found that last year, fiscal year 2014, of those companies, they had $847 billion in combined net income of the companies they studied. However, their dividends and share repurchases amounted to $885 billion. They spent more on buying back their own shares and paying out dividends than they earned in net income.
Amazing.
Now, what does that mean for R&D spending, innovation, CapEx spending, buying plants and equipment and such as this?
Creating jobs.
That's what creates jobs when they do that.
Right.
I mean, if they're working on R&D and building new plants and factories and buying new equipment, that creates demand throughout the economy, which creates jobs, and they're not doing it. They're taking that money and essentially pulling it out of circulation to a large degree.
Right.
And the other thing is, how do you grow a company without R&D and capital spending? Where's the future growth coming from?
This is the problem with most stocks and companies on Wall Street. It's just amazing, and it's so frustrating, but it seems the goal is to get your stock price up. That's really all it is.
It's very short term. Now, another thing that it does is it allows the company then to have shares that they can use to pay executives with.
Oh, forgot about that key point.
That's a very key point.
Right.
And then the executives get a lower tax rate. And also it kind of pulls some of that out for the profit-sharing plans for the employees, so the employees don't get to participate in as much profit either. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just one thing after another, and it's a large reason why I think we've seen a lot of the rally that we've seen on Wall Street over the past few years, really over the past few decades. This has been an ongoing situation.
On a certain level, it's a mirage in terms of the real company, but it's real money if the stock goes up and you own the stock. So I guess that's the bottom line. Get the stocks up.
That's it.
That's it.
Financial engineering. Whenever you hear that term, think manipulation.
Right. Or rigging.
Or rigging, yeah.
Which we use frequently on the show. Sinclair, we had the G20 meeting last weekend. Very interesting over there, what's going on. They say they want to hasten their agenda for global economic growth, but we're looking at slower growth worldwide, and we're seeing negative interest rates in Germany. really a dichotomy of what's going on versus the U.S.
Yeah, the G20 meeting in Turkey was going to be an interesting one from the start, in part because you've got central banks in China, Japan, the ECB, all adding stimulus, all trying to keep their rates low, all trying to drive down their currencies. At the same time, the U.S. is looking at possibly hiking interest rates. The Federal Reserve at the next December meeting may do that. And so we've got this spread going on there. And as you say, negative interest rates in Germany, which is the strongest economy in the Eurozone by a long stretch.
That's got to be a warning flag.
Right. And then you've got the whole immigration issue that they were dealing with over there. And then you've also got the climate conference coming up in Paris. There was going to be a lot of really interesting stuff going on. And then there were the Paris attacks, of course, as we all know.
That distracted a lot of the event, no question about it.
Everything, I think, got kind of thrown off. And all of a sudden it became a matter of, well, who's going to attack ISIS in Syria and Iraq, and how are we going to coordinate the bombing runs?
Meanwhile, while that's happening, immediately afterwards, the stock market starts to rally. Market likes war.
Market seems to like war, don't they? Isn't that a strange thing?
Strange thing. Sinclair, do you have time for a second segment this morning?
I'd love to stick around. We've got so much to talk about.
Okay. Well, all right, folks, we're going to be right back. We're talking to Sinclair No, commentator at KFNN Phoenix and editor of EatTheBankers.com.
Well, Sinclair gets a glass of water. We're going to take a little break for him, and we'll have him back in segment 2, and segment 3. And as I mentioned, segment 4, we're going to go over a whole bunch of news stories and a little bit of an e-signal demonstration for you. So, as a reminder, if you do have more information on e-signal, you can contact them directly at esignal.com/radio. And also as a reminder, this coming week, we do have that upcoming turkey shoot, which I mentioned in the first segment. The day before and the day after Thanksgiving tends to be an up day if you're a trader. We'll talk a little bit about my annual forecast model, too, coming up in segment 4. But it basically said there would be a sharp decline into the October period, followed by a little bit of a bounce, which we've had, and possibly back down again. And we got Janet Yellen and the possible interest rate raise coming up in mid-December. So a lot of interesting things happen here, which could really move the markets in either direction. And at the moment, the markets seem to enjoy that rates may go up, which was the opposite of what they were saying. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you with Sinclair on our segment 3.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market crash, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of the Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free weekly Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free Gold News Raw report. You will receive both weekly, and both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Attention, all men. Are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Are you having a slower, weaker stream? Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Super Beta Prostate is guaranteed to support a more complete emptying of your bladder, a fuller, stronger stream, and less waking at night to urinate.
Super Beta Prostate is a product that I really like. I endorse it. I use it myself. I was very pleasantly surprised that Super Beta Prostate helped me fairly quickly.
Super Beta Prostate is formulated with a natural plant enzyme called beta-cytosterol. It's so powerful, you'd have to take 100 salt palmetto pills to get the same sterols as just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Call now to get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Call 1-800-853-1203. That's 1-800-853-1203. 800-853-1203.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves, but this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at disappearingdollar.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to disappearingdollar.com. Again, that's disappearingdollar.com.
I want to be able to smoke inside, cut down on cigarettes, jog without wheezing, be kissable, and save money.
Then you want LeSig e-cigarettes. Get the highest quality, best tasting vaping experience on the market with unmatched customer service from LeSig. And right now, gobble up this deal. Buy $30 worth of any products and get a starter kit for only $5. Use code SK at checkout. But hurry, offer good only until Thanksgiving at LeSig.com. LECIG.com. Kick some ash with LeSig.
Anything that is thy neighbor.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com.
Welcoming back my good friend Sinclair No for our second segment this Saturday morning. Sinclair is the editor-publisher of EatTheBankers.com, a great blog that talks about a lot of subjects, including the market rigging we had just talked about a few moments ago. And he's a financial commentator at KFNN in Phoenix, Arizona, 1510 Radio. Sinclair, thanks for taking a few more minutes with us.
Oh, I love this. I love Wall Street Raw.
So do I, for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I think it conveys what we're really trying to do here. We're trying to provide and hold the role of the fourth estate, which unfortunately we don't see in financial reporting at all.
No. And actually, we've talked about this in the past. Financial reporting now, I think, has fallen into corporate media more and more.
Correct.
And we don't really get a good story, a good analysis of what's going on in the markets anymore. It's basically whatever press releases the corporations put out.
The major media is just a mouthpiece for Wall Street and the companies, maybe because of the sponsorship, maybe because it's politically correct, and they don't want to get themselves in any trouble, pressure from Wall Street or the White House, who knows. But in the case of the Nike story we just talked about in the previous segment, all the stories were on the tape yesterday, but no discussion of the fact that this is financial engineering.
No, that was a big mover in the Dow Industrials yesterday. Nike helped to lift the Dow, and another strong week, and apparently everything's great with stock buybacks and stock splits combined.
Correct.
What are they really doing? Rigging. So we have this FOMC meeting coming up in mid-December, and we've had this discussion all year. Every time a meeting is coming up, whether the rates are going to be raised or not, whether a quarter point would make a difference or not, it's a whole other story. But with outlier events hitting, and with what's happening in Europe, the rest of the world, and negative interest rates we're seeing in Germany, I'm just wondering whether this will just be another big surprise to all those who are so convinced it has to happen or will happen. We won't know till December 16th, but I'm a little skeptical. Well, I'm always skeptical of the Fed. However, we got the Fed minutes from the last meeting,
right?
The FOMC meeting in October, I believe it was, and there seemed to be pretty much an even divide among the voting policy makers on the FOMC. About a third were saying we're gung-ho for a rate hike. About a third were saying, yeah, we could see a rate hike, but we'll wait and see what the data says.
Mm-hmm.
And a third were saying, no, it's too early for a rate hike, but we'll keep an open mind about it. So the general consensus and the language that we got from the minutes was we're heading for a rate hike. About two-thirds are saying, yeah, we can see it coming. That was followed up by a bunch of announcements from Fed officials, including Stanley Fischer on Friday, I believe, the vice chair, coming out and saying, we've really tried to communicate that there's going to be a rate hike.
Right.
We're not guaranteeing a rate hike, but we're really trying to communicate it.
This jawboning, this conversation back and forth, these little stories that suddenly appear pro and con over the last several months, it's just been uncanny. I'm laughing every time I hear this come out. You wonder what the intent is. Are they just trying to prepare the market?
Yeah. I think a lot of that. They're trying to make sure there are no surprises because, when the Fed does something that's a surprise to the market, that's bad.
Right.
Go back to 1987 when Alan Greenspan hiked rates out of the blue almost. Well, we had the crash of 87.
Right.
And there have been other instances where the Fed moves without properly communicating and telegraphing to the markets, and the markets just freak out. That's the instant reaction anyway. Now, in 87, the markets recovered by the end of the year. But the crash of October 87 was brutal, as you well know.
It took several years.
For a lot of people, it took a lot longer even.
Right.
So they want to communicate, and yet you're right. Something could happen. They may not do it.
There'll be an outlier event again. Something could change.
And even if they do it, what effect will that have on rates and the bond market?
And Wall Street's spinning that it's a positive event. Now rates are going up. For the longest time, Wall Street liked lower rates. It rallied every time she didn't raise rates. So now they're spinning the story the other way. Either way, they're going to try to get the market up, Sinclair. We've talked about this.
Well, my question for you is, what will this do to the bond market, Mark? I mean, you're the top-rated bond timer in the country.
My feeling is that the market is still uncertain about what's going on in the world and the economy, and there's still going to be a demand for bonds. I don't think the bond market is dead yet, and things may not go so well. So they raise the interest rates a quarter point, and they sit there forever, and things aren't improving. Bonds may rally anyway, anticipating the Fed may be doing nothing for a long time.
You would have to think that people would want to kind of come into U.S. bond market, especially when they're looking at negative rates over in Germany.
That could drive them higher, absolutely. So, I mean, I haven't given up on the negative side of this, even though we like to be positive. The stock market may do okay because of the political forces and election situation next year, and the fact that rates are still low and world demand comes into our market. But that doesn't mean that rates have to necessarily skyrocket.
And generally speaking, we're looking at a fairly solid December. December's not usually a bad month. Right. Thanksgiving, you were telling me about the old turkey shoot.
Let's talk about that for a few seconds, if we have. We didn't have time to cover it on our first segment, but we do have the event that is really credited to Yale Hirsch, who created this many, many years ago, that the day before and the day after Thanksgiving are up days. So any sell-off you see between now and, I guess, early next week, middle of next week, you should, if you're a trader, you should be long. And Yale called it the turkey shoot. So you should see up the day before and or the day after Thanksgiving. Just a trading comment. But listen, we joke about...
these trading comments, though, they're based upon probabilities. Doesn't mean it'll happen every time, but it just means there's a good probability.
It's like the Santa Claus rally. It's like the summer rally. All these seasonality things that we talk about.
Go away.
We joke about sell may go away, but boy, that sure worked out this year, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I did hear a lot of people saying, oh, that's just a silly old idea. Well, it worked.
It sure did, and they were poo-pooing it forever on the financial media. Sinclair, I think we ran out of time. Again. Sinclair No, editor-publisher of EatTheBankers.com, financial commentator, KFNN Phoenix. Thank you again, and we'll speak to you next Saturday, Sinclair.
Mark, thank you, and thanks for Wall Street Raw. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have about a minute here before the break, and in segment 4 we're going to go through a lot of other news stories and that e-signal chart. But just to let you know, things aren't so great out there, despite the fact the market's up, but that's been the case for the last 6 years. In the face of negative news, wall of worry, the markets continue to move higher. In fact, we just heard this past week that S&P earnings are on track to close their first season of negative growth since 2009, with more than 90% of the components already having reported results. The S&P earnings are now down almost 1% in the third quarter, and estimates call for sub-zero growth in the current quarter, as well as setting up for a bona fide earnings recession, which beat 2 consecutive quarters. No wonder the companies are doing the financial engineering and the rigging the markets. So this is the goal of Wall Street, and we're going to play the game. We talk about it. We shall try to make money with it. Now the question is, will the indexes be able to break out here? Will there be another outlier event coming up between now and mid-December? Will the Fed actually raise interest rates in mid-December, and does it make a difference either way? And the tape will tell you. That's what we're doing, watching the tape, watching the volume. And we'll report that to you at BRTrader.com, where we do put out our trades during the week. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you with segment 4 and some goodies. Have a great day.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Introducing the all-new eSignal, home of successful traders across the globe. eSignal is packed with new features, including proprietary studies, free education, new content, and usability enhancements. The eSignal 12 series has a revolutionary new look and feel that allows users to quickly access free education and live events, superior customer support, and enhanced functionality. eSignal's Enhanced Market Screener Plus allows you to create custom scans in simple English by combining both technical and fundamental criteria across more than 25 global markets. Sharing with your friends has never been easier. eSignal users can now share with their Facebook, StockTwits, and Twitter friends their trading ideas and charts. And remember, trading education is at the heart of everything we do. eSignal offers in-depth free trading education by industry experts. Test drive eSignal risk-free for 30 days. Sign up at eSignal.com for a personalized demonstration. eSignal, home of the successful trader.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 20 24/7 protection, security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Don't take a cold or flu lying down. Stand up and fight back with Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver is a natural immune system booster that is highly effective against viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Supernatural Silver is perfect for daily use and can be taken orally or used topically to keep you protected from whatever comes your way. This new technology is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver and is supported by extensive research from over 300 clinical studies at universities and independent research facilities across the country. Supernatural Silver has an exceptionally long storage life and should be an essential part of your emergency preparedness. Don't be caught off guard. Give your body the support it needs to fight off deadly pathogens that are lurking everywhere. Stock up on Supernatural Silver and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 20% off. That's supernaturalsilver.com. supernaturalsilver.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally at Heart and Body Extract? We've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on the Saturday morning, November 21st. And again, thank you, Sinclair, for joining us this morning. We talked about the markets being rigged, and we talk about what the market tends to do regardless of war. But there are also, fundamental things out there the market is choosing to ignore, and maybe just that wall of worry. Just recently, Jack Lew, the Treasury Secretary, came out and said there's continuing signs of strength in the economy. Well, did he ignore the fact that household spending has dropped to its lowest level since 2008? Did he ignore that retail sales have dropped to its lowest level in 9 years? Wages are at the lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income is at its lowest level in 40 years. And home ownership is at its lowest level in 30 years. We have negative rates in Europe, so obviously money is desperately trying to find safety, where our Fed is thinking of raising rates on this end. It's really a treacherous situation out there, and I guess if you're taking the long-term view, and we believe that financial engineering, will continue, I guess you stay long the markets and hold your breath. But we trade them, and if the negative volume comes in like we saw in this April-May period, looks like we're not going to get another crash or significant sell-off. We're certainly going to be there. So that's something important, and I'm going to remind that to you over and over again on this program, and, of course, to our subscribers at vrtrader.com. We're going to look at eSignal here again. eSignal.com/radio is where you go for more information on eSignal. Then we're going to take a look at some of the active stocks this week that made the big moves too. I have my e-signal chart up here. We talked about Nike in my segment with Sinclair on segment 2, and if you have the Nike chart up with my volume reversal, you'll see that a positive volume reversal came in on the 18th, which was a Wednesday. One of the things I do is, what is that volume reversal? Well, it's an up day on increasing volume coming off a little bit of a low, and I'm looking at the chart right now, and we had a rising stochastic, which is a momentum indicator going up. We tie that in with the volume reversal, so that got you long if you were a trader, and within 2 days the stock exploded from the 123 area up to 132, just on the fact that momentum was coming in. But what it also said was, when that volume came in on the 18th, the volume reversal I'm referring to, smart money, insiders, whoever you want to talk about, knew something positive was coming, and they were buying or anticipating something was positive coming, and that gave you a strategic buy signal. Last week we talked about Chipotle, CMG coming down, and there were negative volume reversals for weeks and weeks and weeks, even prior to the news about the E. coli break. And we just heard on Friday that, in fact, the E. coli is spreading to other states, I believe now into California. So if you looked at our e-signal chart there and saw the negative volume reversals for weeks ahead of time, you knew this was a stock that you had to avoid, or perhaps even be short, which obviously, we try to do here and trade as well. So a lot to talk about there if you're looking at those charts and trying to take advantage of those volume reversal signals, which is really important in our analysis. Meanwhile, I want to emphasize something we introduced the show with last week. We didn't bring it up here on segment 1. I admire the work of Michael Savage, who is also a talk show radio host. You may hear him on other networks, but he has a famous phrase, and it's called borders, language, and culture. And he has a new book out, Government Zero, No Borders, No Language, No Culture. And frankly, this should become a campaign rally for anybody who's opposing the current administration. I don't like to be political on this program, but bottom line is that we have to recognize our borders, our language, and our culture if we're going to have integrity here in the United States. France is starting to realize that, and that's why they became so aggressive against the Islamic attacks, the terrorist attacks. And if you sit back passively, and we could end up like the victims in Paris or Mali or other places around the world. So we have to defend the borders of this country, protect the borders, and the news plan to bring a lot of Syrians into this country without vetting them carefully it could be a very big disaster. In fact, we're based here in the Phoenix area, and there were several people that crossed the border that weren't problematic but really shouldn't have been here. I think from Afghanistan and other countries were discovered in the last couple of days, within a 2-hour drive from where I'm broadcasting the show. So we have to be really careful who we're letting in here. It only takes a couple people to cause 9/11 or cause the kind of disasters that we're talking about. What good does all this money do you in Wall Street if you're being shot up? So you have to really think about that. And then we're thinking about it all the time here as well. Meanwhile, let's look at some other. I like to look at the active stocks, and we talk about this every week here. I'm going to have to pull these up here for you. So the big names this week that we had the big movement in, and this is really what I'm going to talk about here first, Berkshire Hathaway. This is a $200,000 stock, BRK.A. So obviously many of you may not own too many shares of this, but it was up 6,700 points this week to close at 204,600. Another big mover to the upside this week was our Markel. That's ticker symbol MKL. That was up 47 points this week to 900.47. Airgas was up 37 points this week. That's ARG to 138.81. These are all weekly moves. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals is up 30 points this week. That's REGN to 579. Amazon had a good week, up 26 points. That's AMZN to 668. And Netflix was up 20 points this week, to NFLX to 123. On the downside, we had Clovis Oncology, CLVS, down 73 points to 2641. Chipotle, as I mentioned, we've had problems there. Was warned in our VR system and on our e-signal charts, down 56 points. That's ticker symbol CMG to 536. Metagas, MDGS, that's Metagus, I'm sorry. That's MDGS, down 36 points to 3 377, very low price stock. Lending Tree was down 15 points. It's TREE to 101. Radius Health, that's RDUS, was down 13.5 points to 6105. And those are the highlights there. Those are the ones that I wanted to bring to your attention, the ones that we generally see moving here. Reminding you again about the turkey shoot Thursday and Friday. Also remember to talk to you about WallStreetRawHealth.com. We don't have Dr. Wallach on our show this morning, and we'll hopefully have him back here. But if you go to WallStreetRawHealth.com, you can see some of his videos, learn about the products that I take personally. And many of you know that I've been involved in the market in health foods for 35 years, talk about it in my newsletter. But the products at WallStreetRawHealth.com, Dr. Wallach stuff, is a real compliment to the fact that we don't get nutrition in our foods, and you do need a complement, and he's got great products for that. So I want to remind you to check the WallStreetRaw.com as well. Also, during the breaks, I was listening to a commercial for an electronic cigarette, but we do produce the Vice letter here at VRTrader.com. We talk about the cannabis stocks and a lot of the action in the so-called Vice or Sin stocks. So I want you to check VRTrader.com for that Vice letter. We trade, for example, names like GW Pharmaceutical, which is a medical marijuana company, big name stock in the $80 range, but we do trade it, so I'm not recommending it here, but it is something that you might want to check out. It's a hot area of the market and a growing area in the market, and I think you have to pay attention to that. So the question is whether we're creating a big bubble here in the markets, or whether this is just part and parcel to a normal year-end rally. We'll know certainly by midweek and see how the markets react with the turkey shoot, and we'll get a better sense at that time about whether we're breaking out here or not. But I'm a little more skeptical, as our annual forecast model did warn that there could be a year-end sell-off, so outlier events and or some surprise from the Federal Reserve. Either way could change things, very, very, very quickly. Got to watch the corporate earnings. We got to watch the strong dollar, which actually works against earnings of the big multinational companies. So it's funny that the Dow is rallying as the dollar is rallying. Very interesting dichotomy there. Usually, as we saw in the previous decade, a weak dollar was good for the stock market, not a strong dollar. And here we're seeing the market move up even with a strong dollar. Every week I like to close the show with my friend Ed Hart's comment from the Old Financial News Network, and I'm going to do it again. And he said, very proverbially, we will know in the fullness of time. And we'll speak to you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Out, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market crash, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of the Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free weekly Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free Gold News Raw report. You will receive both weekly, and both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories.
But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.